Good afternoon, Zambia. Good afternoon, diaspora. Actually, I'll just say good afternoon collectively for all the diasporas. Mulishani mkwai mutende mwane mwalibi yabuti mulibwanji. Welcome to this special presentation of TV Bakwetu, and I'm your host Linda Banks with my co-host Frank Salike. Frank, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Linda. Mutozi chwani. Mujivyepi. Mutingai mwane. It's always a pleasure to be with you every time we come on.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, in case you guys are confused, you're like, why are they here early? We don't normally come this time, Frank, do we? We're usually a nighttime show, aren't we?
I wonder how many people are looking at their times now thinking, hang on, that can't be right.
And actually, some people in Canada are not yet awake, and the Americans, they're still in bed. But Zambia, it is 5 o'clock. And the reason why we're here is we have a special presentation as we advertised. We're going to have an array of interesting things going on. But before we tell you all about that, what I would like you to do is type in what you're doing. It's Saturday, Frank. What are the people doing? What are you doing? Where are you watching us from? And what are your plans for the weekend? So we'll give you a couple of minutes to do that, and then we will get started. So Frank, how's your weekend been? We don't normally work this time. This is usually family time, isn't it? How's your weekend going?
Yeah, this is quite different. For me, it's always the usual Saturday mornings. You have, I call it life admin. All the stuff that you can't do during the week as a Saturday morning, and this afternoon with everyone to join in to this to this occasion. How's been your Saturday? What have you done with your Saturday?
Well, Saturday morning for us, we have a regular jog in the morning. So we had before, because as you've noticed, it's getting dark early and it's getting light later. So by 7 o'clock, it's still quite dark. So we went for a family morning jog, came back, made my smoothies, had some breakfast and did a bit of work. And now doing some more work.
Nice.
Absolutely. How's your little man doing?
Oh, the little man is a joy. The little man is a joy. I came back from work yesterday and he was asleep already. And it was 6 o'clock. So I did TV Bakwetu. Then I went to the living room. My wife was falling asleep. So I said, oh, he's gonna wake up probably in a few minutes. So I said to her, go and sleep, and I'm gonna sit here.
Yeah.
And so he's gonna wake up in the next 10 minutes. I was about 9:30. He didn't wake up until 1:30.
Oh, bless him. Mike Cubs is saying procrastinating whether or not to go for a jog. Come on, buddy, you can do this. I find it's always good to get it out of the way first thing in the morning, because in our household we love food. So I make a compulsory jog every day. Exercise, some sort of exercise. Could be for walks, could be for just for a run. It doesn't have to be anything strenuous like what Dr. Munja does. For us, we just go through the laps. We live near a leisure center.
Yeah.
So you do 3 laps and that's exercise enough.
That's right. You don't need a lot of exercise. So for me, I'm a runner. So I run 3 miles every day before I go to work. And
That's amazing.
Saturday morning, like today, I run 8 miles.
Wow, that's fantastic. That is fantastic.
It's a routine that I've had for the last
That's
9
the thing.
years.
Once you get into a routine, I think it's you just carry on, which is really, really good. So I'll aim for that 3 miles. I'm not sure I can manage 3 miles, but we'll try. And have you guys tried the Fitbits? You know, the watches that tracks how. There you go. That's usually quite helpful, isn't it? Yeah.
It's always helpful. It's always good to know, am I moving enough? And even I will have that in when I'm in the office. I look at there and go, have I moved enough? I need to go to the kitchen, make myself a drink or something.
Exactly.
But it's important you keep that body moving.
Absolutely, absolutely. And Shumunya says, Shumunya is a man. I was at church and I enjoyed it. That's fantastic. Makeups have done 3 runs already. Just lazy to do my 4th. Now that's just showing off. 4th run. That is BJ says Saturday Lelo, I'm being lazy. I deserve it after a stressful week. Naka whiskey. Oh, later tonight. Oh, fantastic. That's really good. So later tonight you're going to have a whole different TV Bakwetu with our colleagues in the Americas who are still asleep right now. So for Frank and I, it's 3 o'clock at the moment. So it's civilized hours.
Civilized time,
exactly, civilized time. And then soon we're going to be joined by a few other colleagues. But now, why do we as you were probably thinking, you guys, I'm seeing some comments. Some people are not sure how come we're here. They're excited we're here, but they're not sure. Yes. So the reason why we're here is we have a special presentation, you guys. So the president is gracing this special dinner, which is held by the UPND. It's called the Meet and Greet the President Gala Dinner. And so this special dinner is in aid of raising money for the party. Now, Frank, I think this is quite fascinating, especially a new government. They've got all these monies at their disposal. They've just presented their budget. Why do you think it's necessary for them to hold a fundraising dinner?
I think this is very, very important. And I think every Zambian, wherever they are, they should be proud of this moment, because what we're seeing is a party in power that says we want to make our own money. The money that the government have is not the party's money. That is the people's money. That they're not going to use the coffers in the government, the coffers in public coffers to run their political party. They're separating the two. We have seen a clear separation of political party and the government. The political party belongs to the UPND. The government belongs to the people of Zambia. So if the UPND wants to raise money, they have to raise their own money without digging into government coffers. And I think that is a very, very important thing to remember, and a very significant day for us as Zambians. Back to you, Banksy.
Fantastic. That is very important. I wanted you to clarify on that. And this is unprecedented by this government. Obviously, earlier on, they're just barely 3 months into managing the country, and they're already holding fundraising functions to raise enough cash for their party. And the reason why that is important, Frank has highlighted that, and it also just makes things a bit more transparent, so that they're not pitching into the government coffers, so to speak. I think it's really important. Then they can be self-reliant and they can be running their own projects without getting into the government's, the people of Zambia's purse, if you like. So now tonight, obviously being a very special occasion, I'm going to just talk you through what's going to happen. What was supposed to happen at 5 o'clock, Zambian time, 5 o'clock, guests have started arriving at the gala dinner right now as I talk, but we're going to be joined by the incredible General Chipakpako, which is going to be exciting. But before I bring him on, guys, make sure that you share the link so that you're not just enjoying this program yourself. So 17 to 18 hours, guests arrive, 18 to 18:30. We're hoping that all the guests are going to be seated with a little bit of serenading of the music in the background, which should be interesting. What sort of music do you think they might be playing, Frank?
I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued to see what the music that they're going to play. But I'm very certain they're not going to play Alewela Pampando.
Don't you start on that one. Well, interestingly enough, I managed to convince our gentleman, the other panelist, Dr. Kasonso and Dr. Munsha and General as well. If our viewers can make some donations of stars, 200 stars, you might just hear Dr. Kasonso and Dr. Munsha and General Chipakpaku sit Alewele Pampando. And for 300 stars, this will be exciting. You started it. You just reminded me. And for 300 stars, you're going to get an opportunity to hang out with us in the green room, and you can chat to your favorite TV Bakwetu stars. Dr. Kasonso will be there, Frank will be there, but Percy has got a huge following. It's like a tribe. A tribe.
He brings all these people in. I remember one show. Do you remember one show I was doing? I got all these people messaging, go, but Percy, want Percy to speak.
But Percy has not spoken. It's happened to me as well. So I tread very carefully these days. I have to ensure that my Percy gets ample time to speak. Otherwise, his tribe just goes crazy. I think they're just as crazy as he is. We love him. So that's what's going to happen. And then from 7 o'clock to 7:15, the president is going to be introduced to the platform by the sponsors. Then 7:15 to 7:25, the president is introduced to the fundraising committee in the holding room. And then from 7:25 to 7:30, the arrival of the president in the main hall. So if you are making your way to the Mulungushi Conference Centre, you haven't got ready yet. Oh my gosh, I've just been distracted by makeups with a humongous 10 pounds. So he's the first person. Can you just type in the comment section, are you female? Because that's not a real name, is it? Makeups. Thank you so much for the 10 pounds. That's a very generous contribution. And you have because I had the name Kasonso. Okay. Frank Make wants to come and meet Professor Kasonso. So that Professor Kasonso, yeah. And Chota says, somebody says, who's that? Chota says, I'm Kelevai and Linda follower. Yeah. Make that contribution. We can come and hang out in the green room. That's fantastic. Right. So yeah, that's what's going to happen. 7:25 to 7:30. As I said, arrival of the Republican president, the 7th Republican president, 887, as I call him. 887.
That's brilliant. You called him like that in his face as well when you asked him a question in London. You're like, oh, 887.
Oh, you heard that? Yes, I did. And I just could not behave myself. It was, I tried.
Even when you're standing there, you're like, this is what I'm going to call you.
And it just came to my mind. I didn't even plan it. I should have said, Your Excellency, but yeah, it just came out,
For me, what stood out in that moment is it didn't flinch, did it? It kind of just took the question for what it was.
Yeah. And now, the people in the background, some of our friends, are now calling me Madam Linda, Madam Linda. And I was like, what's that about? Please don't do that. So they said, go back to the video. That's what the president referred to you as. And I was like, oh. I was a bit slow on the uptake there, Frank.
You're not Madam Linda to me, though.
No,
no. To me, you're Banksy.
There you go. And you're Frankie to me. So in equal measures. Right. Then let's move on to that from 1935. In Zambia, they call it 735. We're used to 19.
No, in Zambia they call it, no. In Zambia they call it 19. We call it 7.
We call it 7. So from 1935 to 1940, the director of programs is going to have a few opening remarks, and we are going to sing the national anthem and the opening prayer by Bishop Stephen Nkata. Now, the national anthem, again, it will be quite interesting to see which versions of the national anthem they sing, because I remember just before the elections, I think the UPND had a convention and there was a controversy on the national anthem. Do you remember that? They were like,
because they sang it in Tonga.
Yeah. Yeah. So I would love to hear more languages. You know me and languages. Our languages are beautiful. I think if they mesh it, it will be quite nice. So it will be quite interesting to see that. And then 1945 to 1950, we're going to have some special entertainment. Now, this is where I would like our viewers to speculate. What sort of entertainment do you think is going to be at this gala dinner? Who's going to be playing? Do you think the Kalandanya gospel singers, or what do you think? I don't want to be controversial.
I think there's a special. I tried to get General to give me an idea of who was there. He's not giving anything.
No, he's not.
It was going to be a surprise. I said to him, I'm not going to tell. He said, no, it's going to be a surprise.
It's quite funny, actually, because I asked him, I was more interested in fashion. What's the first lady going to wear? Or who is she going to wear? Like, is it a local fashion designer? Come on, General, spill. What about you? What are you going to wear? And he was like, Banks, I'm not going to tell you. All you need to know is I'm going to be in a 3-piece suit. So, guys, watch out for a 3-piece suited General Norman Chukwaku.
Well, that'll be a sight.
Yeah, that would be exciting. So Chota says Ponchano is playing and Namadingo. I love Namadingo, actually. If anyone knows Namadingo, I know he's from Malawi. Ask him to get in touch. Have you listened to Namadingo?
If anybody knows Ponchano, ask him to get in touch.
I've got to Ponchano's contact, Frank. I can give you that. Grayson says, I sent 300 stars. Oh, thank you so much. I will be checking. Actually, Percy is in the background. Percy, my brother. Can you check the people who are sending stars, please? And those who are giving gifts on YouTube. That would be amazing, so that we can make sure that they join us. Okay. So now, what are you looking forward to at this event, Frank?
I'm looking at one thing. I'm looking at to see. I'm looking to see how the UPND, the difference between how they run their party, and I'm looking to hear the message of this is our country. We don't own the country. The country belongs to the people. So I'm looking to see that message really emphasized. And the second part is I'm looking to see a group of people really enjoy themselves. Yeah, it is. After the 7 years of struggles and everyone has gone through, I want to see people celebrate and be happy, and an opportunity to really celebrate the achievement. It's been people not giving up, people keep going, and they could have easily said, you know what, this is very difficult. We don't have to put up with this. They could have gone their ways. A church has got enough money to have just said, I don't need to fight this. I've got enough money. I'll look after my children and everything else. But he kept fighting for the people of Zambia. So I'm looking forward to them actually having a moment to celebrate their achievement, and probably not speak too much about what we need to do next and all of that. all the work that is ahead, just to take a moment to really celebrate what they have achieved right now. Over to you.
Absolutely, absolutely. Audrey is saying, "Ninshida Chitika, what in God's name is happening?" Well, what is happening is we're waiting to move over to the live coverage of this gala dinner, which is going to be hosted by the 7th Republican President, His Excellency Hakainde Hichilema. I think it's the first time I've said that, actually. His full name. And we're waiting for General Norman Chipakpaku to join us as they enjoy this incredible dinner. And when speaking to him this morning, he said the emphasis is about having a good time, just enjoying, celebrating. As you said, Frank, it's been a tough 7 years, and it's time the Zambian people just came together and just had a good time, just celebrate this new lease of life, so to speak. I think it would be really lovely to see some people enjoying themselves. So now people are speculating about what sort of music or what artists are coming. Do you have any suggestions, Frank?
It's quite interesting. You've mentioned somebody's mentioned Poshano being there, and I think for me that's the only thing that matters now.
So
the only thing that matters to me. He can just sing. He can just sing all day.
Yeah.
It's
He's quite an interesting type of guy, isn't he? I think when the National Assembly was being opened, he played there, didn't he? Or what? Yeah. So his music is very cultural, and he's one of those people who produces music that stands the test of time, I think, because some of his
He's always has something about him, because I remember growing up, all my friends used to laugh because it's a time everybody used to listen to Eminem and Tupac and everything else.
Yeah.
But I was about 12, 13. I wanted to listen to Ponchano because there was something about his music.
Yeah.
My friends used to laugh and go, "Do you want to listen to something?" But there was something special about his music. It was about where we come from, remembering where we come from, and in all that we do. And it's those sort of things that have always stood out for me, even as I live in the UK. There's always those things. I'll put a Ponchano song on, and it's just a reminder of where I come from and remembering my people. And it's important that we promote music. We're really promoting the music that emphasize us as the people of Zambia.
Absolutely.
Over to you, Banksy.
Absolutely, Frank, absolutely. And the songs that he produces kind of just touches your soul. They're more like folk songs. I don't know what genre of music the songs are, but for me it sounds like it's more folky kind of cultural type of vibes that he gives out. So it will be interesting to see if he's there. And seeing as you like that sort of music, Frank, you may like Namadingo. Namadingo is a guy from Malawi. I spent many years in Malawi working, and I have a soft spot for that country. It's just beautiful. And he sings very beautiful songs, very authentic. None of these sort of kind of fake kind of instruments. So his lyrics are quite authentic, and he's got a really crisp voice, if you like. So it will be interesting if those guesses are right. And the other thing that I'm looking forward to is seeing the First Lady. Actually, she always seems to be on point with her fashion. I think some of us could take a few hints from her.
Interesting one.
Yeah, I'm really interested in, I'm looking forward to seeing what she's going to wear. And more importantly, if she's going to wear a Zambian designer, like, is she going to be dressed by a Zambian? Who's going to do her hair? Who's going to do her makeup? That's the thing. The other thing I was trying to get out of these people, including General, and I was like, what is the First Lady going to wear? I was like, I can't possibly tell you that. And just give me a hint. So yeah.
It's a good opportunity, I think, in everything that, as when we get people in power, the First Lady, the Vice President, in what they wear, I think it's a good opportunity to promote to local designers. Because as you will know, living in the UK, when Prince Kate wears something, it goes, it sells out of the shelves in the shops. By the next day, it's gone. People are going out there to buy it. So it would be a great opportunity if they're able to do that and say, let's promote our local designers, and then our senior people in the country coming out and wearing it and say that outfit that the first lady wore was designed by so and so from so and so and so and so in Zambia. That would just promote business and encourage Zambians to buy from fellow Zambians.
Absolutely, absolutely. And considering that the youth really helped to solidify His Excellency's position, I think it would be really important for the First Lady, even the President himself, actually, to start promoting some of these young designers, because I've come across some incredible young designers who are making these beautiful frocks. There's one girl who makes beautiful dinner gowns. So I think it would be really lovely to start seeing that. And also, that's one of the reasons why I was asking the powers that be what the First Lady is going to wear. Because if we mention that designer on here, people will start looking out for them, trying to buy things from them, and then that will be promoting their business. So I think it's absolutely crucial that we start embracing everything local, whether it's food, whether it's fashion, and everything else. So I think that is really, really important. Now, as we continue waiting for General Chipakpaku, I'm going to invite one of Bakwetu panelists. Vakasonso, are you here? Professor Kasonso?
Hello?
Hello, we need to see you.
Okay, my handsome face is not available for viewing tonight.
Oh.
Good
afternoon.
Twalumba. Professor Kasonso, good to see you. We have a special occasion. UPND has decided they're a grown-up child. They want to independently function on their own, and they're holding this gala dinner, and the president is going to grace them with his presence. What do you think? What are your expectations at this?
I think it's an opportunity also to kind of bring together the foot soldiers and everybody who was involved in the struggle to eat together, have fun and talk, and also find resources to continue running the political party that is in the government. Because most people, I think, were just volunteers. And if the party has resources, then it can recruit some of the people in the structures to turn their work into full-time work, and also just be ready and prepare for future elections in the promotion of democracy and the enterprise of the United Party for Development. Because many members at this point, especially high-profile ones, expect to get jobs, and because of that, the party may be supported in part from their income. But beyond that, it is good to see the party just have its own resources and put structures everywhere so that it continues to supply the manpower that will go to occupy government positions. So it's a good opportunity for the president to interact with his people and, downtime, laugh with them. I hope there's going to be a lot of comedy and, just making people laugh. What happens in a political party like this, especially that most people are waiting for appointments. The foot soldiers are coming with this. The foot soldiers are coming to the gala, or they are returning to war. They have won the battle, And, if they are not sure who is going to be where, what's going to happen with them, there may be opportunities for what we call friendly fire, where they begin to turn on each other, such as I saw in the last few days. Some people are beginning to turn on fellow participants in the struggle to remove the Patriotic Front from our government and hopefully extinguish it from our country. So that friendly fire can be the biggest distraction, So I think a meeting like this, a dinner like this, should be regular and should be many, where people can meet each other and eat together. I learned in tradition that the people who usually eat together, they live together. So it's very important. So I'm excited, and I hope that it's going to be a fun function, and some significant amounts of money is going to be raised to support the operations of the political party across the country.
Absolutely. And talking about some incredible amounts of money being raised, I have auctioned you, Dr. Kasonso. I do apologize. I have been trying to raise money for our network. So people have been giving, they've been so generous, people giving £10, £20, and 300 stars here and 400 stars there. So the prize is yourself. If you didn't know, now you know.
Really? So what trick would you like for me to pull from my jacket so that I can make the fans excited?
I
you are a very resourceful man. I don't need to ask you.
I think you will find something. You will find something. I
think I was lucky in the sense that I decided to wear a black jacket so that if I have a magic trick in there, I can just pull it, rather than trying to scream in an empty house. And so I just pull a trick out there. So you see, this fundraising dinner, being the first one of its kind, should also make us reflect on the meaning of the new dawn. Usually dawn, comes when there was dusk. So it was very, very dark. It was very getting dark and ready to rain in Zambia. And then we just wake up to a new day where we have a new government. And we have a new start, so to speak. So the people should be able to come to a function like this to celebrate their work and their effort, something that they accomplished and something that they did.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. I'm going to have Mr. Chilufya, Patrick Chilufya. Welcome to the program. And we have a dinner, UPND fundraising dinner taking place. What are your views? What are your expectations? What do you hope to see? For me, I was hoping to see His Excellency and the First Lady have a little dance as in celebration. Wouldn't it be wonderful to see them do the first dance? But Patrick. Patrick's disappeared. I'm going to bring in Himba. Himba?
Hi, Linda. Hi.
Hi, good afternoon. Welcome to the program.
Thank you so much, Linda. Shila Samba.
What do you think about the dinner that is taking place? Himba?
Linda, hi, I'm here.
Yeah, what are you looking forward to the most at this dinner? What do you hope to see?
This dinner has come at the right time, and I give a credit to the UPND team, and I'm so proud of the party, and I'm so happy that we are leading by example. We are telling them that we are not going to steal money from the government to run our party. We are going to use our own initiative to run our party, and we are going to separate powers between the government and the party. So we don't want somebody to come and ask Where did you get the money? We are fundraising. We are raising money. And above all, it has also come at the right time for the president. I think Wakateka Navanaka, he needs to do something outside office, something to relax his mind. He needs something to just to make him forget about the methodical things. To socialize, interact, and also meet his people. He needs that as a human being. Bamobalanda, too much work makes what? Tom a dull boy. So at least Wakateka, why Bashteko enjoying arena. And I'm also waiting. I want to see him to open the floor. I'm sure our first lady will be looking so beautiful.
Yeah.
Makeup so perfect. Thank you, Linda.
You're welcome. You're welcome. That's really lovely. Now let's add in another one of our TV Bakwetu friends, Beauty Digan. Beauty, welcome to the program.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good evening, wherever you are.
What's the time, Beauty, in Canada? You are in a different part of Canada.
Absolutely. So Munsha and I are in two different places. Munsha is in Calgary, and I'm in Newfoundland. So Munsha is in Alberta, and I'm in Newfoundland. The time difference between the two of us is about like 4.5 hours. So I'm ahead of time, and it's about 3:30 here p.m. And Munsha will be in the morning. It will be in the morning for Munsha.
They're literally just waking up.
That's for sure. Yes. Yeah.
So what are your views about the dinner? What are you looking forward to? Anything in particular, or are you hoping to see something in particular?
Yeah, and you guys have already spoken about most of the things that I hope to see there too. Like you, Linda, you talked about, what dresses or clothing is our first lady going to wear. I also look forward to what our VP is going to wear. And Frank, you talked about one very important thing. You did talk about the fact that, it'd be great for us to now, going forward, instead of us just buying clothes that are coming from England, England, China, wherever it is, we're thinking, now why can't we have made in Zambia now going forward? Those are some of the things we want to see with the new dawn. And also in entertainment, I'd like to see hear a lot of comedians. I don't know who they have there today, but a lot of that. And also, I also want to commend the president on the job well done. The first 90 days, close to 90 days anyway, he already has ministers in place. And yesterday, or the last few days, we just received names of the DCs in all the provinces. And one thing that I commend him for is that he hasn't brought those DCs from Lusaka to go and govern, for instance, Northern Province. He's actually gone to the people themselves and asked them to choose who they want. And the people have come up with the local people from the province. That is so unbelievably, wonderful, because these DCs understand the language. They speak the local language. They know the needs of the people who put them into office. So yeah, it's exciting. I'm so excited about that.
Fantastic. Frank, do you have anything to add on what Beauty has said?
I think I'll just go back to first of all, what our good old Professor Kasonso said about being able, a party having enough money. I think it's very important because people worked hard. And when people work hard, they expect to be rewarded. And rightly so, some people expected to have jobs. And if you work for something, you expect, it's rightly so, you expect to have a job. And if you have a party that is funded really well, and if you have a government that is funded really well, if you don't get a government job, but party's got resources of its own, you can have a job. And that should, in theory, stop a lot of conflicts that might go on, because everyone won't be fighting over the very few government jobs that are there. So that is very, very important. and you got the DCs in the local areas. That is very important that you don't get somebody from Lusaka to go to Kasempa or to go to Mumbeji or Kalabo when they don't know what's actually going on. You get somebody to say, I want you to tell us what really going on in your area. You live here, you know what the people who live here go through. So we are going to give you this position so that you can help improve. We can only improve anything if you know what's actually going on. If you know the actual problem. An engineer, a car mechanic can only fix something if they know what's exactly wrong with the car. If they don't know, they're not going to fix it. Same as a doctor. And if the government, if a new government going to fix anything in our country, they have to say, this, tell us what's actually going on. We're not always going to be in your place, in your workplace, in where you live. But we want you to be there and tell us what is it that you're going on? What is it that you need most? So there's no point of buying an ambulance for an area if they've got no hospital. Where are you going to be taking people? So then they're actually feeding back to say, these are the actual things that my people need right now. And I think that it's a great idea. Otherwise, because all we've had is people from Lusaka who never leave in those places saying we're in charge of that place. And they're getting paid and that place just remains underdeveloped.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Frank. Just allude to what Beauty said in regards to the vice president. Now, this is a new thing I just learned about from talking to General. The protocol is if the president is gracing a dinner, so the vice president cannot be in attendance, apparently. So just as Beauty was saying, she's looking forward to seeing what the First Lady and Vice President will be wearing. So apparently the Vice President will not be in attendance, but it would just be His Excellency and the First Lady. I'm going to bring in another one of our Bakwetu friends.
I'm just going to make a point before someone come in. Before you just move on to that point. That's a very, very important point. You don't need the president of the country and the vice president of the country to be in the same place. And it shows the sort of governance that we have. So on the day that the president say, I'm going to this dinner, the vice president is not there. The vice president is not there, not because he's not there. The vice president at that particular moment, he is running the country. So even though the president is at the dinner, you've got somebody who's running the country. And I think that's a great strategy in my book.
Absolutely, that is very true. I'm going to add Patrick. Patrick, welcome to the program. We came to you earlier. I think you may have briefly disappeared. So we have this amazing dinner. It's said to be something edible. General has been working hard. I was checking, seeing what he's doing, organizing the whole thing. And now, who do you think is going to be on this list? Or who should be on this list?
Can you come again, Belinda?
Who do you think is going to be on the guest list, or who do you think should be?
On the guests, Belinda?
Yes. Guest list.
On the guest list, obviously, Belinda should be maybe ministers and leaders of organizations or companies or sponsors, and maybe ambassadors and high commissioners and
people with deep pockets.
Yes, with deep. Yeah, that's the point I wanted to make. Belinda, this is a very expensive Meet the President Gala function, but all governments have done this, except maybe for the PF and those other governments that were not separating the government and the party, because the danger of not the party raising money and having enough money in the coffers is to start stealing money from the government coffers. you know, it's easy when a party is in government, it's easy to find ways of siphoning money out of the coffers and put it into the party coffers. And at the end of the day, there's no separation between the two. But this government is what Hakainde is trying to say is we have to run these institutions separately, and we need to have enough money, because the secretariat is also going to have full-time employees. And it's going to have even the CEO, who is the Secretary General. They have to be paid. They have to be paid well. And not everybody, as Frank said, not everybody should be looking for government jobs, but they can also look for the jobs in the party, because there will be a lot of jobs there. You know, more or less, you know, there will be a lot of jobs there. There will be the Treasurer General, there will be the Secretary General, the Vice Secretary General, the Director of Communications. All those people needs to be paid, and they should be paid very well. You know, they shouldn't be thinking, I have to work for the government for me to be handsomely remunerated. And then, Belinda, you also mentioned about the thing of Vice President not being there. You know, I think one of the main reasons why the Vice President cannot be there is for security reasons. Imagine if something bad happens, God forbid, in that Mulungushi thing, which means we've lost both the president and the vice president.
Yeah.
Which, you know, so if one of them is for security reasons, you know, obviously a risk assessment has been done. Not both of us cannot be there. What if there's a disaster there? A disaster can happen anytime. And then we've lost both the president and the vice president. God forbid it won't happen.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
But just in case.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Belinda.
Lovely. Thank you so much. Bamkelevai, good afternoon, or is it good morning in Norway? What time is it?
Good evening. Sorry, it's evening here.
It's evening.
Sorry, come again.
Welcome to the program.
Oh, thank you. I'm actually busy cooking and listening at the same time.
Excellent.
I'm also preparing dinner. For my family.
Wonderful. That is wonderful.
Oh, there you are. There you are. Kimazi Wandate. We get you the call.
We get you the All right. No, I'm in the kitchen. You know, we have, you know, roles to play as well as husbands, not just sitting, Johnny Solio Wali. We also come in the kitchen and perform wonders there. And this is what I need to encourage my brothers and sisters, especially brothers, especially Minama Tonga, where you just want your wives to belong to you even use the term women belong in the kitchen. No, that's not
Honorable
true.
Kelebai, we have a dinner going on. You're cooking dinner. What are your views, please?
Yeah, I don't want them to enjoy themselves alone. I want to also participate. You know, like they're having a Holy Communion that side. I'm also having my own communion.
Fantastic, so fantastic.
It's a wonderful thing that is happening today for the UPND. For them to come together, as we have already heard. I don't know the theme, but I'm thinking that they are doing some kind of fundraising.
Yeah.
So it is good that they are doing that to organize themselves. The party should organize themselves, and they should actually discuss a little bit more on the communication. We need communication from that end. The UPND is known for being so very active communication-wise during or before the general elections, but then after, they just went mute. We don't hear Mwetwa anymore. Honorable Mwetwa, I don't hear him. He's quiet. He's doing his ministerial issues. So this is the time where he should be told to say, hey, Badala, we are missing you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Wom Kelevai. Thank you so much. Enjoy your dinner whilst the president will be enjoying his dinner. Right. Brother Pacey from another mother. Good afternoon.
Hello, big brother. Hello, big brother.
Myself, I'm still seated chilling, man. I just woke up. I slept late, so that's why
we don't need to know that, Percy. What are your views on the program?
Well, the program, well, today's should be interesting because myself, I'm more interested to see what type of people we'll have to interview during the event, which ministers or members of the ruling party have got guts to come and talk to us. That's the most, for me, that's the interesting thing. You know, I want to see who's good in presenting themselves and who's shy to talk to reporters, you know. So that should be interesting. And I would like to see the first lady to open her mouth. I haven't heard her speak yet.
Okay. You want to hear the First Lady speak. Thank you very much. Now, Womkelevai has got a challenge here from Paul Himonga saying, I can beat you in the kitchen. I craft my own brews like Chiwantu. There you go then, Womkelevai. How good are you at crafting Chiwantu? So I'll be interested in finding out when you come back. Thank you so much, Percy. Mr. Mapanza Nkwilimba, good afternoon, sir.
I think you're muted.
Oh, sorry, I was muted. Sorry. Thank you, Linda. Thank you. How are you? And
I'm very well, thank you.
Yeah, you know, that lost man boasting of cooking, I can beat him too at that time.
Oh.
The battle of the men in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Do you know what this is going to be? The TV Bakwetu cook-off. I want to see it.
Yeah, the cook-off. Cook-a-thon.
Yeah, so you should know that you shouldn't attack Tongas. Tonga men are also, you know, they can be in the kitchen.
Yeah. Good.
I think Mr. Kelawai has just opened all kind of worms out there.
I know that could go horribly wrong or horribly right. What is your contribution to the program tonight, this afternoon even?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm looking forward to those that will be joining the president at the fundraising event. Yeah, some of us will be watching from outside. We have done our bit, and I think the venue also has cannot take everybody, so I just decided I'll watch from outside.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good that you know, the party has taken this initiative. Some of us have been arguing for some time and encouraging the party, you know, to look forward to making the UPND, you know, an institution that is going to be sustainable, not for everybody to run for government positions. And that's what has been happening sometimes in the past, where everybody in the party that wins elections, people want to take positions in government, and they leave the secretary of the party unmanned. And this is a very good initiative because it will provide resources to ensure that the party is fully established as an ongoing concern. We look forward to that. We want UPND to really become a sustainable institution.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Good point there, Mr. Mkilimba. It's a very important point that you made there, that the party has to remain manned. And I think we saw this with the previous government, is everybody rushed to government and nobody was actually looking at what was going on at the bottom, what were people doing in the party, and what were people saying, what was the message being sent out. And they just got caught out when they get to the end. There was no message sent out. So I think it's important that they establish at the moment with this gathering today, that they establish to say, we want a strong government, but we also want a strong secretariat in our party to still remain strong as we run the country.
Yes, and you know, not just a strong secretariat. I think that the party still has work to do in terms of how does the party monitor the government. The party has a manifesto. As some party members have given positions in government, and who's going to monitor them? Who is going to hold them accountable? And I think the party should have an internal mechanism that monitors what those in government are doing. And I hope that as we build the party as an institution, the party is going to look at the structures like various committees, which in the past really, most of them have not been active. Some of them have been only one man or two people party committees. But we need the party committees that are functional, and if there is needed to look at the constitution and see how to make these structures functional, I think we need to do that. I guess if we had done that before, where each committee represented a government in waiting, where you already identify which people take which positions when we are in government. I think it would have been a lot easier than what obtains now, when you find people that you did not even know where they came from, but because the party has won, all of a sudden they'll become active and they are lobbying heavily for positions. So really we need to be an institution that is ready for anything that happens.
Yeah, thank you so much. That are very important points there. So making sure that the party is financially independent, and also ensuring that there's opportunities for other UPND party members instead of expecting jobs from the government, which causes infighting. Everyone is sitting on the edge of their seats, waiting for that appointment, which also leads to infighting amongst themselves, trying to backstab each other, positioning themselves, which is not really ideal. Thank you so much, Mr. Nkwilimba. Now I'm going to move on to Patrick Chilufya. Now, I know Patrick has been quite instrumental in raising funds for the United Party for National Development here in the United Kingdom, together with other diasporans. Patrick, what sort of money do you think the UPND would be looking to raise at this sort of event?
To start with, Linda, they will need money for the operations of the party. The party runs just like the government, but obviously running the party structures. So the party and more or less runs like a company, because they've got a CEO who is the Secretary General. So that person needs to be properly remunerated, as I said earlier, because he's the chief executive of the party, running the whole country. Just like the way HH runs the government, this man runs the party. So though HH is the president of the party, this man is the CEO. So he's the chief executive of the party, and is the one who runs the party. So he needs to be properly remunerated, just like any other ministers. And not only that, the party needs to have a treasurer general, who is like the finance director. And we've got one already. He hasn't been appointed in government, and I hope he will continue. That's the man we used to work with when we were raising money for the party. And there are other positions. He's got the secretary, the administrators, and then not only that, we've got people at the provincial level. All those people needs to be paid allowances. We've got people at the district level, local council level, and during the elections, UPND also created the one what do you call them? Election at the election level. What do you call at the polling station level? So all those people needs to be financially supported. So the party needs to have a lot of money. And Belinda, the fear is if the party is not generating money, because the party makes money through people buying subscription every month, every year, which is not enough. It's, you know, here in the UK we paid about £10. I don't know how much they pay in Zambia. It's not enough to run UPND because Zambia is vast. So the government needs to find ways of generating a lot of money to run the party. And out of this gala, I think they will raise enough money, you know, to start with, and then continue raising more money. Thank you.
Lovely. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. I will move on to Himba again, because I know Himba is a self-confessed UPND member. I'll ask you the same question, but obviously you have different views from Patrick. Do you think the party has got a specific amount that they would like to raise at this event? Himba? Himba's probably disappeared for a minute. Vamkelebai is also a UPND member, so I will move on to Vamkelebai. Don't be showing off about your cooking, Vamkelebai, because you've started a storm now. People are calling that we should have a TV Bakwetu cookathon. Now, this will be interesting. I'll pitch to our men, actually. I think this will be quite interesting. You've started the cooking storm. Did you hear the question? Did you hear the question, Vamkelebai? You're muted.
What is your question?
My question is, at a dinner like this, a grand dinner gala like this, how much do you think the party will be looking to raise?
Well, considering the fact that our president in his personal individual capacity is one of the most comfortable person, I would expect a little bit, a very good contribution from him. I know. And the party, by the way, I just want to correct you. You said I'm a UPND member.
Sympathizer?
I don't even possess a card. Oh. I'm not a member. I'm not a member, but I am a supporter of UPND.
Okay.
Yes.
So there is that distinction. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, I am the supporter of UPND. I've been supporting UPND from the time Hakainde walked onto the political scene.
Fantastic.
So I've been supporting him. So Vasata, I never voted for Sata. I was there, but until there was Babanda, no, sorry. Manawasa, yes, I did. And
so how much do you think they'll be looking to raise? Do you have an idea?
Well, considering the economical hardship and the party who are trying to minimize cost, I think they're gonna raise something reasonable. Well, probably above from the Zambian currency. We are not going to quote the 50 million that someone somewhere.
That's interesting. Now, I can see thank you so much, Vamkelebai. Carry on cooking. I've had some messages saying, what is Vamkelebai cooking, for goodness sake?
Actually, today I'm cooking lamb. Oh, sorry, no, I'm cooking lamb meat. I almost say lamb chicken.
So, Chatuku Matata. That is an interesting name. Vamkelebai is cooking lamb, not lamb chicken. There's no such thing. I know where you're going with that.
I deliberately called my Tonga men, my Tonga friend, my Tonga mbuyas, because I know how sometimes they treat their 4, 5, 7 wives. So they are. I am always. I can only invoke them to come to my rescue. I know they can cook, but they only know how to boil water.
You're going to start a war. You're going to start a war. Frank, did you want to add to that?
Before Vamkelebai starts a whole complete new war here that we might never get to stop. I just want to get. There's one point that he raised there, and I think it's one point that we need to get away from. I think he mentioned. The president is one of the richest people in Zambia, so I would expect that he's going to contribute a lot. The one thing that we should get away from is making people feel invisible, that the party relies on his financial, relies on him to survive financially. And I think it's where we kind of just separate, and the party starts asking, how can we survive without having a president? That you don't create that invincibility into a president. I run this place. He can't survive without me financially. I think we just got to be very, very careful. I would go as far, I would be as bold as far as saying, probably not expect him to contribute, because it's everyone's party. And if he wants to contribute, it contributes, but people don't go, we expect you to contribute because you're the richest one of us all. Otherwise, we create that invisibility. That's what we want to get away from our African leaders.
Fantastic. Thank you, Mkelebai. Now you really have distracted the show as usual. People want to see your meal when you're finished and all that sort of stuff. Other people are saying, Mama, I feel hungry. Emojis of hungry emojis. I don't know what you've done now, Mkelebai. I will bid you goodbye for now. And if you'll be kind enough to show us the results of your efforts, that would be lovely. Okay. I'm going to add Dr. Munsha to the platform. Vakana Damwashuka. Has it disappeared again?
Oh, I'm Samba.
Because it's still very early in the morning there. I'm going to be cheeky and remove him from the stream until he is ready. He was here earlier. Knowing Dr. Munsha, he's probably working at the same time. Okay, Frank, over to you.
Yeah, so there are quite a few points. Lots of points have been raised, and listening to Patrick, and it's important that the party carries on being able to say, how can we carry on making money? How can we carry on fundraising? And that these fundraising events do not stop. And it would be helpful to see how many employment can be created in the party. I think there was a big talk about the youth in government. I think it could be a stepping stone in our people, for our young people, before they get to the point where they are able to go to government, they're able to get this position, that they're able to have this position in the parties, and they're able to have that experience and that exposure to be able to learn. I was very cautious about who do they want in government. I think there was a lot of thinking that people wanted a very youthful government, and I was like, no, I want an experienced government, because what the economy needs. And what our young people need at the moment is experience, and being able to create these positions at party level, as almost use it as like an apprenticeship type of thing. So they are able to work at that, they're able to work at party level, they're able to work in their constituency at party level, for them to be able to have that exposure on how to lead people and how to find out what people need, before using it as a stepping stone. If the right opportunity comes up for the right individual, there's that opportunity for them to step up and to be able to do the job adequately.
Excellent. You may have noticed that the DCs have been appointed, and quite a few of them are young, very young. So will be quite interesting to see how that pans out. I like the mixture of the youth as well as the experienced staff that the president has appointed. So it just gives them a little bit of time for the youth to learn from the older and more experienced politicians. So which is really, really good. Now,
with the DCs, you've got a great mix. I think it's what we've said it earlier. You've got a lot of local people who are doing that job, which is good. There are people living in that area, so they know what actually goes on in that environment. So that is, for me, that's a very important point. You get somebody who actually knows what's going on in the ground to feed to feed into the system. So this is what we need.
Brilliant. Fantastic. Mr. Nkwilimba, I know you are quite tightly linked with the ruling party. Now, I wanted to find out from you, how else do you think the UPND can be raising money apart from gala dinners like tonight? How can they sustain themselves financially?
That's a good question, Linda. And my thinking really is that, as Frank said, we should never really look at one person because he's said to be the richest person in the country to actually fund the party. My thinking has always been to challenge the grassroots. Wherever there is a branch, the party should be able to raise some of the resources that they need to use at their level. And I believe that that can be done at any level. People can contribute whatever they can. Sorry, I've run out of electricity here. This is a problem here. But I think that the party can, the party membership and supporters and sympathizers can support the party at the lowest level of the party, up to the national level.
Okay, lovely. Now we have been joined by Dr. Munsha on audio. Dr. Munsha, good morning, first of all. I know you're probably just waking up. It's very early in the morning in Canada. Good morning.
Good morning, Linda. Good morning, Frank. Even if it's morning, and we're just waking up, I've already been following your hour-long or even 2-hour-long presentation, and it's been excellent. So it's very unusually warm here in Alberta for the season. And so we are wondering, there's still no snow. I think I'll go out for a run today after 1 month of a break. So it looks very nice.
Good, that's good. So we have this amazing gala dinner, which is supposed to be graced by the president of the Republic of Zambia. We're just speculating what's going to be there, what the first lady is going to wear. Is she going to wear something designed by a local designer? If so, who is that? And it would be nice for us to know them so that we can promote them. And I want to find out from you, do you have any expectations as what sort of people would you like to see on the guest list?
So you see, because of the nature of the dinner, so there are different seats and different prices, like for the tickets. And so I expect that some are going to be extremely affordable tickets. First of all, there's going to be some tickets that were given to people that sacrificed for the party in the past, ruling party functionaries, ruling party foot soldiers, as Dr. Kasonso always calls them, and men and women, youth, and several other people that helped contribute to the victory. And then there'll be lower costing seats, and then the closer you get, I think, to the high table, the more expensive it becomes. It is one way of recognizing the efforts of all the UPND operatives coming together in a light manner, drinking water, because apparently me and the president don't take alcohol. But anyway, so tea and water for those that take tea and water, and a little bit of juice for those that take juice. And then they cannot be left behind. So they will be drinking. And so that is what I expect. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's also a place of networking, and I wish everybody all the best. We are going to be interested in the speech to hear what the president has to say, because I think this is one of the few occasions where he's addressing a primarily, it's still grassroots. It's still the people, like people intentionally there because they are part of the UPND or part of the society in one way or another. So we'll be paying attention to the speech, and we are also going to be bringing this speech on this platform to the diaspora, to the Zambians around the world who care about their country. And so we look forward to that. On the dressing and the designers, I'm a little bit artistic, but not the kind of dressing and stuff like that. So I'll leave that up to you to be able to see the shape of the dress or the dressing that the First Lady is going to be on. But I expect it to be good because they always dress very well. I think for men it's easy. A man just finds like Frank Salike Fevale Monica, tie na nishchapwa. But for women, a little bit more work is done, and so we look forward to that.
Talking of women, Dr. Munsha, actually, it's not just women. I was trying to persuade General Chipakpaku to tell me what he was going to wear. And he was like, no, it's a mystery. And all he told me was, all I can tell you is it's going to be a 3-piece something.
Valinda, General thinks he's working for MI5 sometimes.
Exactly. I was like, what is the mystery about what you're going to wear? Just tell me who made it. And he was like, oh no, it's a surprise. Just wait, it's a surprise. So I'm really waiting eagerly now to see what he's going to wear. And we're still
raised
waiting.
Our expectations now, hasn't it? He's raised our expectations now. We expect it to be very good now.
He better live up to it. All this anticipation. Fantastic. I'm going to invite Percy to join the chat. Let's see if he's still around. Percy, are you still available? He's probably gone. Okay. Himba. Himba, are you there? Himba is probably stepped out as well. Well, Frank.
I think everyone's going to cook. I think everyone's going to cook.
Yeah,
I think Mr. Mkelawai has come in here and everyone's like, oh, I'm hungry now.
If you look in the
Percy
chat
should be available. I think Percy should be available.
Okay. Could you add Percy, please, Dr. Munch?
Available in all sizes, large, regular, and
you disappeared from my screen. So I was thinking that perhaps you've gone to cook as well. You've been inspired by His Excellency, Honorable Mukelewai, Dr. Mukelewai, and everything else, Chef Mukelewai.
No, as our chef is in Sainsbury's and microwave.
Come on.
Hang on.
Seriously.
Percy, I left Zambia when I was 15 years old. You left Zambia when you were a lot older. I still cook in Shima.
No, actually, myself, in terms of that, I've got a very good excuse. I used to cook. I don't get me wrong. I used to cook on Shima, but until I started having problems with my shoulders, I can't do that anymore.
So
there are things I can't do. Yeah, just that motion, then it will mean I'll need to be taking painkillers after finishing cooking.
Oh, you know what we're gonna have? You know what we're gonna have to start doing? I'm gonna have to start inviting you to come to my house once every month so that you can put some Zambian food in you. We can't be having that.
I know. We can't be having
that. 10 minutes walk from my house.
Frank, I'm really impressed actually that you should say that. You and I were always teased about our accents, but you have not forgotten your authentic Zambian food. Impressed.
No. You know, we come in here and people tease us by the accent. Maybe we're the only ones who've been had in Shima as well.
We're probably the only ones.
All these people like teasing us about our accent. They are probably sat at their house eating shawarma or something.
Shawarma, exactly. And we eat akawari na tukapenda ngatakuri munani. You go for the egg always. When in doubt, go for the egg.
Go for the egg. My mom was in Zambia. My mom was in Zambia recently, and she was like, sent me a text to say, "What do you want?" I'm like, kapenta.
Now, which leads me to the next question, actually. What are we expecting to be served at this dinner? What sort of delicacies are they going to offer the delegates? We're speculating, and I'm sure after General comes, he's going to furnish us with all the details. But Percy, what do you think will be dished out? Or what would you like to be dished out there?
To be honest with you, there are some. Yes, okay. We are a multicultural. I mean, we've got different tribes. I understand that, but you know the habit of like you have a function like that, and then you're busy serving Western food. It doesn't match up. You know, for example, I can give you an example. We find some presidents travel from, okay, let's say like HH Travels goes to Russia, and then they go and serve him Burger King. It doesn't, they have to serve him Russian food. So all I'm trying to say is, it would be nice if they've got proper traditional food there. Kind of nice enough when they do that. So
if you're Palashan, proper food like what?
Mwabika kwefu shimu, vakapenta, mwanako no bwali, nenkoko ile yakumushi noti ya white ile ya loni yawe.
Yakumushi.
Yakumushi ya ngole tinta, ni exercise, fipa kutinta. Basically, all I'm trying to say is we need to have at least traditional foods when we are having such gatherings, or when they invite a head of state who comes to visit. Serve them our traditional food, unless if that person is like Trump, whereby where he goes with Burger King or McDonald's. That's different, And the Western people, most of them do like trying different foods anyway. They are not like us. For you to eat squid, kukupatikisha. You want to try. Us, we are difficult, I'll leave it there for our chief chef, Mukelebai.
Yeah, Frank, do you want to jump in?
That's a very important point before Mukelebai comes in. When I met my wife, my wife is British, and the first thing she asked me when we came to our house was, "Can you cook me Zambian food?" That was literally the first thing. So I want to know what you guys eat.
No, pray tell, Frank. Pray tell. What did you cook for her to impress her?
I cooked shima with chicken and fisashi that Mom had cooked the previous night.
And you passed it off.
And she stayed.
It must have been pretty good. Now look at this Cheshire Cat's kind of smile that Mukelebai has. I'm sure he's got some insightful things to tell us. Now,
he's sinister, this man.
We were talking food, Mukelebai. What sort of things do you think will be dished out at this gala dinner?
I mean, I hate guessworks, but definitely they're going to have a buffet where people have to go and collect their food. I think rice and nishima will be on the menu, probably chicken, because we Africans, we are known for chicken. We love chicken so much. Maybe I think there will be some drinks. I just hope that they are also going to serve our traditional drinks like chivantu, mahel. Those are important when you have a celebration. And of course, I hope that they're gonna have some traditional music, like that rap, Tonga rap song, whatever.
Oh, I love that.
Yes, with that is our R&B of Southern Province. I love that. It rocks.
Fantastic. Now I'm getting messages from people. Oh gosh, you're making us hungry. And Shirley has just arrived. What's the occasion, and why are we talking food? Now, if you're not talking, could you kindly mute yourself, please? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So Shirley, if you're like Shirley, you've just arrived, you're thinking, what in God's name is going on? This is an odd time for TV Bakwetu. We are presenting a special live broadcast of TV Bakwetu because the president is gracing a gala dinner, which is being held by the United Party for National Development. They are fundraising. So they clearly want to be financially independent from their father, so to speak, who is the president. Now he's the president of the Republic of Zambia. He's a president for the entire country. So the party has to be financially independent. And if you just joined in like Shirley, we were talking food. What sort of foods do we think they're going to serve. Now, you guys in the chat box, can you just have a little guess what sort of things you think they'll serve, or what sort of things would you like to see served? And then I will ask Percy to read some comments. And in the meantime,
it is chat about food. I'm sitting here and I'm now thinking, and therefore I can to Kalembula.
No, to Kalembula. I love that accent. To Kalembula. You see, my accent is not as bad. Who says to Kalembula? Mkelevai says things like that.
Oh, me. He's my lousy father, this one. It's his fault.
You see, I love it. Is good that the combination of Linda and Frank, it's amazing, because you have the way you have Zambianized our English. It's Londonized, or you know. I love the way you come out, even Chihuahua or Kalembla, the way you call it Kalembla. You know, it's
Kalembula. In the first Kalembula. Now Frank is like Kalembula. I was like, okay, now that is
Mpenico Bondwe.
What about Ifishimo, Frank? How would you pronounce that? Ifinkubala. No, Ifinkubala. No.
So don't even ask me to pronounce that.
Not Ifishimu, Ifinkubala. Try that.
Ifinkubala. Is that I'm awful?
Ifinkubala. Kelevai, sorry, go on.
I think that is like so you know what I'm going to do?
Last I know the number London Kofine. Nakula London I know not accent. Actually, Nakula de Achilozi, accent Achilozi. They many really.
You know, I talked about teaching my son Bemba. What I'm going to do if I have to teach my son Bemba and Lozi, I'm going to get my dad and my mom to come and teach him. Otherwise, this is going to be a disaster.
Well, Frank, Chota Mlenga says, can you say Kalembla again, please?
Kalembla? It's not what it is. It's not how you say it.
Atinga katapa. Oh my God. Okay. I think you're ruined. I've still got my authentic. What?
Bolinda, I have a question.
Yes.
It sounds perfect in my head.
I have a question. We are waiting for what General Chipakupaku to come on, and what are you communicating to them to find out what's the program like?
Yes.
How far? Yeah, okay, what time is he coming on? Have they started?
He hasn't said. General, he will tell me when he's ready, but he said he was running late.
Is there someone who's running the live stream on Facebook or something?
I think.
Or it will just be us?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
So we'll just wait for General to communicate when he's ready. And he's having, because now it is what's the time in Zambia now? Somebody type in the comment section.
It's 18:32 now.
18:32. Okay, and I had a program, so by now 18:32. What should be
1.5 hours late?
Yeah, they should not be eating Kalembla. Oh, actually, right now they should be Chihuahua. Yeah, Frank, Chihuahua, go for it.
I'm not anymore. That's enough now. That is all. Listen,
thank you, thank you, Sawila. It's 18:33. So 18:33, and this is Zambia. Remember Zambian time. One time, when was that? We were waiting for a press conference, and the president was 2 hours late.
2 hours late.
I was not amused. So it's possible that they are running late.
You know, like I'm like with time. I'm like everything. Wherever I go, if something is starting at 6 o'clock. I wanted to start at 5:55.
This is why you and I get on.
Yeah.
This is why you and I get on. I'm exactly like that. It's yeah. It's got to be bang on. That's the one thing that has changed. People always ask, well, since you've moved to diaspora, what has changed about you? For me, it's that I'm really, really punctual, and I'm fussy about people making it on time to whatever events that we have planned. I'll bring in Kasonso. Before Vakasonso starts talking, but Percy, could you just read some comments from our viewers about what sort of foods they feel should be served at tonight's dinner?
Okay. There's one who says she wants chikanda.
Who's that? Can you mention the names?
Rumulenga Chomba.
Fantastic.
Yeah. And then there's somebody who said, Linda, nowadays I asked you that we should open a Zambian rest and co-op to be serving Chihuahua Chipampila.
Ask that person to inbox me. With food, I'm sold. I already have a restaurant, a home restaurant, so definitely I'm...
Wilson Chisenga mwanfu ifyo balanda balinda inbox.
Anyone who can be sending me chimpapila, kapenta, and all those delicious things, chihuahua. I mean, we can partner.
I'm not going to be pronouncing them. I don't want to pronounce them. I just want to eat them.
Joseph Period, whatever I dry in somba.
Oh,
chihuahua for me.
You see, by period, bali kunganda, but a chihuahua. There's no such thing as chihuahua. Vakasonso, please educate us. Chihuahua. What is chihuahua?
Chihuahua.
Chihuahua. It's pumpkin leaves. Chihuahua.
Takwa chihuahua. Number by period. Vakuchipata.
Skip on my B.
What do they do with these? What do they do with them?
Accent and issue, I think Chihuahua, not Chihuahua.
Yeah, you guys with your thing on the pronunciations, you sound like you are trying to learn Bemba. In the order of my English teacher, who was from Ghana, and in those days, to go to work or to go to school, to a record minibus, I was she will get on a minibus. Then Moka named the minibus for part town, Masala, mine Masala. So I arrive at the station. I see my teacher is the first one to jump on that diner. So now the diner, so I saw Fekula Queen Economa. Apukuta kona palia pa apukuta kwa fuka funyaka handkerchief kwa apukuta pa pena pa so now people are coming in and he's put his legs, half of his legs are blocking the way because of where he's seated, but so then the Gonena guy comes in and says, "Bosses, Seleni." But he saw the hand and he figured out that this guy is telling him to move. First, he answers in English. He says, "I am not going to move to clean this whole dirty seat with my trousers." So the Gonena did not understand English, so he attempted to make him understand. And he said to him, "I am not going to Seleni." It's that little event stuck in my head of this Ghanaian man trying to be kind and trying to help himself, but at the same time trying to communicate that why he cannot move, and the guy who is telling him to move does not understand English. Yeah, so it's very interesting. So you guys going around talking about Kalembla, and those type of things. It just strikes me.
I just know a bit. Hang on. So when me and Linda speak, we remind you of the Ghanaian. You can communicate. This is sad. This is a sad state of affairs.
You are not going to Seleni. You're mixing English with English Bemba. You know, Bemba with an anglicized little bit of thing. But it's good. Language is the purpose of language is nothing but communication. So if you speak a language, you anytime you're trying to communicate something profound, speaking a language that most people in the audience can understand, and even the manner in which you address it, you can understand. So like when we go to teach in American classrooms over here, we speak Americanese. Because if you tweak your tongue like that, sometimes it sounds like but sometimes when you talk like that, you are going to be more effective in communicating the gist of what you're trying to say. Yeah. So it's dinner time, so we are doing well talking about food. Saw me disappear a little bit. I was also trying to organize myself some food. Trust me, I also cook. But I will not disclose the manner, the style, the speed, or the kind of food.
Well,
can you stop talking food?
Mwivo vetu bacon vamama vemleterepo kakapu kati nekananguli.
Oh, bacon! You've just been saying all these food, and you're saying go and have bacon.
Bacon doesn't do it. Bacon doesn't do it for me. Do you know, talking of all these foods, when I feel there are times when I feel like really poor being in diaspora. I'll explain. You probably think what she's talking about. It's when I don't have wunganga wapo. You know, we buy the tupamela, the 5 kg from some South African shop, which is like hundreds of miles from where we live. You even look sad. Right now, I don't have my usual supplies because sometimes, like when I go home, come back with a whole lot of kapenta, chihuahua, and that sort of stuff. Or I have friends and family send me some, and I've run out. So if you're watching TV Bakwetu and you love me, you know what to do. Send me the You're resorting to begging now.
Begging. I tell you, Linda, I went into this shop, right? And because obviously we find it to Pamela we buy. I went into the shop and they're 10 kgs. I took 3.
That's good.
I literally like carrying them like that. This you don't see it very often.
Be careful, no kulalumbula to Pamela.
Eh.
The ones we buy here, the tupamela, our people might misunderstand because in our culture back there, ngamulenda tupamela nishna mupia sana. So ngamulenda tunaza tupamela ichavaleza na inkuba uli apakanchi bachula vimfia vya bazungu bachita tupamela.
No, why?
Yeah, but anyway, na ifobe no tu ashtafio tu no. But uwadite miwe yakulia every day. But I know some people shabalumbulia but nishachipoka permission. Awe bena akabwali ni daily mwe.
Oh. Panopene tuli. Bakasonzo kamambo kushita review my secrets.
We're live on air. Remember, we're live on air. The secrets you leave out in the backstage.
I'm a professional. I'll keep the confidentiality.
So someone here from Vashamiso Gray is telling me that South African shops in London sell 10 kg, not 5 kg. Oh, thank you for that. But Linda, why not maize meal? Maize meal to life. Make Cubs. I'm guessing Meg is in London because Make Cub says there isn't much choice, but Pamela ku diaspora. Alatwali chula, yes. Alatwali chula. So, and I've got an aunt who lives in Texas. She always has foods. Alobala kumbuisha. Ala ninji pikachikanda. Let's please just stop already.
Remember a few years ago, I think it was about 2008, the UK government stopped people bringing fish and all of that, and we used to snuggle that in at that time. Go Africa Airport, you're so nervous.
You're the most decent human being. You smuggled. I do that. Should I be saying
smuggled fish?
I just did it. That's so wrong.
Frankie Murivauchi. Teko ya bula fendo vani mwa River Thames mwa yalo wa mwensui mwa yalo wa mwesavi.
River Thames mwa.
Flesh fish ya kumwensu na flesh fish ya River Thames is not the same.
But now, if you just arrived and you're confused what's going on, we were talking about this dinner that's taking place, and we were just discussing what is going to be served or what should be served. Now, moving on to Bapesi. Bapesi promised me, because he lives in a part of London where apparently there are some more African shops. So he said he's going to take me one weekend to go. My sister, don't worry, I'll hook you up with the chihuahuas of this world. I was so excited up to now. Ama promises.
But promise ya PF.
create time.
More money in your pockets. Vaisa kule chipatale chikulu cha pankongole. No baba tindala valela kingile matumba. Wabunako pe if you mawe no fraction.
And what promises yaba PS?
Yaba PF. You know, yes, if you are ndilati umwana ngalomba bread. Wushe imwe mula mupere liwe. Answer yava PF niye. Antu wale lombe pia kudia. Nukuya waleta la Fraxton. Misevo sana.
So, no, Mbabaka Sonso, you haven't been around for the past couple of days, and there's been some appointments. My guess is the president is going to allude to some of these in his speech. Oh, I think he might do, but I would have loved him to let his hair down and just relax, have a few drinks, chat on a low key. But there's this big speech that he's supposed to be giving. Now, my question is, what are your thoughts about the new appointments? There seem to be quite a lot of youths who have been appointed as district commissioners.
That's an excellent move. The position of the district commissioner is part of the presidential executive committee at the district level. So literally those people work directly with State House, and they will operate at a different level of government. We have different levels of government, but they take, it's like taking government closer to the people. We have the local government, the district government, the provincial government, and the state government. So my thought is that it's a good thing to have people appointed, particularly the young people who are supporting the UPND and have got some skills. It's time to get employed. In my father's village, they say this, and I'll say it here. Muzungu wabula kajo kafuapo kumsebezela ne. Yes, so yes, I will translate. Muzungu, it's a reference to a boss who doesn't pay his workers for their effort, for their work. So in the traditions of the Kaondes in Northwestern Province, that Muzungu must be abandoned. So, you know, in my estimation, the president, at least to a group of young people, his followers and his people, he must ensure that he does not come out as Muzungu wa Bulakajo, because the people have suffered for this cause. The people have suffered for, have sweated for this struggle. Now it's time for them to realize the vision that they were and be a part, put their hands on the plow, work with the president to turn around the fortunes of the country. And also at the same time, the scriptures teach that do not muzzle an ox while it's trading. They are continuing to work in the government and collecting a salary, getting paid as they work to turn around the affairs of the future of our country and the affairs of their families and stuff like that. So I'm very happy. And the other part I liked about it is the picking of those people from the very districts where they are coming from. They are not picking a person from Lusaka and bringing them to Chingola as a district commissioner. They are picking a person from Chingola to be a district commissioner in Chingola. And then you take those into the central government system, you train them, they know how to play their role, the information that they're supposed to work in, the stuff they're supposed to supervise. So government is taking shape. It's 3 months now, almost. Government is taking shape. So we look forward to seeing more appointments. You see, the other thing I wanted to talk about, to share with you in relation to some comment, is a phrase in my mother's village that Mpianango, apiana namavala. Mpianango, apiana namavala. Ingo is a type of animal that has got specks or spots on its body. So, that is an animal that is used in terms of, historically, that phrase came out of the succession system. When a brother or an uncle or a relative dies and leaves a widow, and then you go and inherit the wife. So, ukupiana. Then there are certain minuses that those people come with. So you cannot say no, nimpiana ifi. Then you enter in there and then wambo kuisha ni fishale fisha no. So they would say mpianango, apiana namabala. So if you have ingawa piano muntu ni shinefi bifionse filia, or the negative sports, or the sports that are not so attractive or so fancy, you have also pianat them. You have also inherited them. Our current president, our new president, is not the first president. He is the 7th president. So, amavalayo apiene yengi, including balatwa letere apa ba mwamba bale fokulia kubantu.
Mwari kuswahili bushuko ilia vale fokulia omuntu through this.
Naletamba.
Which your thoughts, then much they allude to the incident.
Mulebe kushefya chitikia kuri basmata smata. Na ubale fokubalia. There are two things. Bali fokubalia babisha. Bapene kubalila bapene. Kwe na mweleza kubala fumbira kakatirisha wepo. Na kula tamba tarutala mukira. So there are two things going on at the same time. One, our people who have now assumed government in Zambia, our group, we are a very hurt people. That must not be underestimated. Elo tuarikaripa over many years. Because ababa leteka, imiteke yabo yalikuwa tibashimwe bale chusha abantu. Yeah. So imipashi abantu yalifura. So kwisa mune chinso cy'abasore bakwa lungu. Obo balefu okulya ni lungu, lya winewo mwaleta powa kwa lungu, over fokulilamu. So I would say this to you, that anger and that pain was being expressed towards Mr. Lungu, the former president. And those were his faces, his agents, the people who spoke for him. That's why we are serious. So I hope the people in government and the president can see that the primary crowd, the base, is very hurt to see those people still doing the work of government. We didn't have an option or a choice in dealing with the ambassador, however fired, but takes a process to recall them in a case of an emergency. That was an emergency. So some of the anger was not constructive because it papered over reality.
Yeah.
Yeah, ignore reality. But abaleka bafuna baisha tifo fwe bamposa mavuto alikali pa abantu tatubafwaya. So but na ifo bene funomba nomba tufetu afuma muri moti. We have to go into the mode of the governing group. The governing group chimuna shima famu inashima famu wa kwate famu. Shima famu ala kwate ngombe, ala kwate nkoko, ala kwate mbushi, ala kwate kula wako nembebesha kwate shiteshi bionko yvishwate pusha wapa famu, but nasha shitekerwa kumu. And they contribute to the ecosystem. But PF bantu be sort of fit ekwa fiesu. Chimo fene fit ekwa pa famu. Tufure tule bachita provide government. Not to kubafuliru afya. No kubateka tule bateka. No kubakontra tuwa bakontra. No kubateka tuwa bateka. Fit ekwa fiesu.
Dr. Kasonso, but don't we think like for some Zambian people, a PF, like for some of us, from where I am, when I think of PF, I think of a lot of things that they did wrong and a lot of things that it did to our people and it can hurt. But for some people back home, when they think of PF is somebody who took their husband away, life away, somebody who took their father's life away. For some people's anger is literally, they took something that was so precious to them and we're probably not going to stop their anger tomorrow. For them, it's something that's going to miss completely in their lives. It's always going to be a reminder that they live with.
Yes, that's why the government should take into account the people's anger towards the people we've just removed. Those votes, they say we won in big numbers. That was outrage. It's people's anger expressed civilly, with civility. So nombanga chako bati bambo kutwalira ma positions ifi. Nishinomba ivo ba besi tule twali wa mkweshiwa. Na lisa umfa pali na friendly fire yako bati bambia bamposa mabwe banensi nomba bambo nokula posa mabwe paka kwetu ati yo yembuhesha numuleta poyo wampata. No.
Bangulimba, what are your views on what Bakasonso has said?
Yeah, Bakasonso, as usual, he brings an interesting angle. Well, I mean, look, PF or not PF. First of all, they are Zambians, and because they are Zambians, they have their rights to express themselves as Zambians, even the right to work. But to a certain extent, really, the other way is when you see people that really frustrated those that were in the opposition, and they did things that would never be done. To continue to see them holding those positions, your mind is not really at peace. Partly because you don't know whether what they are doing in those positions will support the new government. Others may still be serving the interest of those that were in power yesterday. So I think that there should be a balance. Okay, I like what the Vice President said a few days ago when she said, as long as you have a job, you are earning a salary, you are being paid for what you are doing, then serve the people, serve the interest of the people and not the interest of the PF. But it's really amazing. The thing is that for 7 to 10 years, and especially when you look at the PF policy of giving key positions to members of the PF, that's what makes it really difficult to balance the issues here. Because how do you deal with people that got those positions from director level, sometimes even lower, because they were PF cadres. How do you manage that?
That's a tricky one. That's very tricky.
That's a
And
tricky
I think,
one, yes.
yeah, and I think the result was exactly what we saw when we had a PF appointed civil servant come onto our platform. Now, people literally just felt compelled to air their grievances on the platform because they don't have another opportunity to have access to this person. So he was right in front of them, and this is their TV, Bakwetu. This is our platform. What in God's name are you doing here? But they felt quite possessed.
We have to remember the way Dr. Monsha started this platform with Bill 10. This has been the people's platform. This has been a platform where people have been re-educated on what is going on. And what TV Bakwetu contributed to changing the government is an opportunity. And people feel this was the only place where people could hear different views when it came to election. So people feel it's their place, and when somebody steps in, they're like, "What are you doing? It's our place. We don't."
Yeah, this is my home, and that's a very good point, Frank. Actually,
let me tell you something about what I heard yesterday. Winter Kavimba was being interviewed, and I was really disappointed to hear him say, when he was Secretary General, he met all the principals of the institutions, these institutes in the 10 provinces, and he asked the principals if they could create positions for the PF youth, and they did that, and they even went ahead to get Chinese funding to pay for those youths that were recruited in those institutes. Can you imagine that thinking where you are in government and all you are thinking is the PF youths and not all the youth of Zambia? That mentality, I mean, it's in many of these people that are PF cadres that are holding these important positions now. What they are saying, they want to serve their fellow PF cadres and not Zambians in general. And that's why the sooner they left, the better.
I think it's the point I was going to move on to was alluding to the fact that we as a people, we need to come to a place. I know it's a bit early right now. People have been hurt, and someone posted that people have got PTSD of the PF regime, and that's understandable. We need to start healing. We need to get to a place. We have got an incredible leader in Hakainde Hichilema, who's got progressive ideas, inclusive ideas. He's presented this incredible budget that is it's basically taken the power back to the people. And we need to start now pulling our sleeves, rolling our sleeves up as a people, young people, and older people, everybody, and literally just start grafting and not just thinking, what is the government going to do for me? You have to put yourself out there to take part in healing and repairing this country. So what happened the other day when His Excellency Mr. Mwamba came here, people really lashed out. Now, my appeal to our viewers is, I completely understand that you are really, really hurt, and I don't take anything away from that. But what we need to do is we need to start thinking about healing. We need to start that process of healing, because there will not be a developed Zambia. There will not be a better Zambia if we're still thinking PF youth, UPND youth. We're all Zambians. At some point, we need to start considering each one of us as a people, as one people. And that's the only way we're going to make headways.
Yeah, let me also supplement on that comment, to amplify what I said. Piana namabala. Abantu waisa mukuteka kateka. Ni balia bene. Ifwe na balia bene. Ba PF. Bantu bakwa president. So tule bako measured sometimes. Yes, abakwete amasambi abachite break the law. In biashi abakapokolero tefe tulela na pwefe. But in a president alichita set up a conciliatory tone. Balaba mshemperendu pi ifibakera balaba mutwalira mafikariati. He has not put his heart on retribution, because he would set the country up on fire, because abachene kwa wengi. In fact, the country would be ungovernable. So I think that we should follow the lead of this president in our expression of outrage. And also, people ask for patience. I think we shouldn't have patience to ask the president. What we should have is just a little more faith. A little more faith that he is doing what is the best for the country, and he's right there with his hands on it. Mumo ni 3 months number ya lapwa. Tala yapo na kumfuwe kateka. So if I was one of the controlling officers, anga twalimu tatoto mtumako kumfuwe haya tusha kona weekend na mama wako na mwenshi ku 4-5. Wakaunda bale ya bachiruba bale ya bamona wasa bale ya bonse bale. Na ina kateka nomba afu mebe pali ine dina. Ale ya fesa kwate ku vacation atushe. Alisa isa ku America ya kubulaya ku UK ya kusaina ba kutamfia ma appointments amashani. In fact nga kwata kona ka vacation haya tusha. He can clear up some thoughts and see some of the things that he's not seeing clearly. So in a nutshell, Valinda, one Zambia, one nation. Tekuchitafe unite ababe mbanaba tonga. One Zambia, one nation. Kuchita unite ba PF na ba UPND. Ba PF, they were under bad leadership, and many of them were bad eggs, and they are not going to keep their jobs. That's a given. They must be replaced. But bantu wesu, mwaumfa. Bantu wesu, ebena Zambia bariabe, takulina bandi.
That's true. Professor Kasunzu, I'm going to hold your thought there as we cross over to Lusaka, Zambia, and join General Norman Chipakpak. General, good evening.
Good evening from Lusaka. Good evening, BAKWETUTV members, and good evening to all our viewers all over the world. We are live tonight at Mulungushi Conference Centre, where we are having the Meet the President dinner organized by the UPND fundraising team. I'm really, really sorry that we are running late, and we're running late. We're running late, and but all is well. I will show you the sort of screen to see how long the queues are. But just welcome to Lusaka, where we are fundraising, and anytime now the president should be arriving. The lines are long, very, very long. We are expecting about 700 people tonight, 700 guests. And as far as we're concerned, we are fully booked. The tickets were sold by 12 o'clock yesterday, fully sold out. Now, Linda, you might be surprised that Lusaka on a Saturday, the hundreds of people queuing up to support the UPND, and most of these people have paid their tickets, sponsored, and they've also supported the party in some way. We also have party officials, different companies. One of the companies which is supporting us is Savenda, and a number of other companies which are supporting this fundraising. SGI, we have Mayfair Agriculture, which is, and we have a number of other companies, including Harvest Group. We have got AfriSeed, which are sponsoring this program. But remember, the tickets are 10,000, and we also have the tables, which is the high gold, platinum and gold tables, which are actually sponsored more. We also have the cheapest tickets, which are 5,000. They're all tickets taken live and completely taken last night. By yesterday afternoon, all the tickets have been sold. I know that the music on the background is just amazing, and I will want to see whether I can get my cam to zoom in and show you what's happening. But otherwise, Linda, we are live from Lusaka at Mulungushi, and it's just fantastic to be in my bota. You know, I can't remember when I wore this, but it's fantastic. Over to you, Linda.
Fantastic, lovely to see you, General Chipakpako. I was telling the guys that I had been asking what you're going to wear. Are you wearing traditional outfits? And you couldn't tell me. You had this mystery about your outfit. Now, can you just show us briefly? And our viewers are commenting, you look absolutely dashing. Can you just show us a little bit of your outfit? You said you only told me that you're wearing a three-piece. Now, a three-piece of what?
Linda, there's a lot of noise on the background. I think I'll have to go to a corner and see whether I can hear what you're saying.
Oh,
and
I see.
I wish I could also show you some of the guests tonight. They're wonderfully dressed, I can tell you. It's supposed to be national dress or elegant. I can see both eyes here. I can see different national dresses, which is fantastic. So I am. The music is loud, so that's why the background is not good. What were you saying, Linda? Over to you.
I wanted to know what you're wearing. You only told me that you're going to have a three-piece. Can you show our viewers? That's fantastic. Looking dapper, General Chpakpak.
I think Frankie will be very proud of me tonight. Because
I am very General. You know me and my suits, and I'm very proud of that. Good choice. Good choice. I'm glad you've learned from the best.
Now, General Chpakpak, can you please make sure that you capture our first lady? We want to see what she's wearing, what she's dressed in.
Well, the first lady has not arrived. The first lady has not arrived, and as soon as she arrives, I'll be able to show you. I am just trying to zoom in and see whether I can show you the actual room itself. My camera is, I hope it's going to allow me to do that.
General, oh, sorry. Yeah, what he needs to do is just to swing. Instead of it taking a picture like a selfie, he can take the picture the other way and he can capture the whole room. So, maybe any question?
So brilliant. Carry on. What we'll be doing is, this is live TV, people. Welcome to live television. We'll be coming. Oh, he's back. Over to you.
Linda, the technology doesn't seem to be working here. I wanted to go in and show you the actual room, the actual settings of the room, and probably see whether we can make sure that the president is welcome. And as I can tell you, the president should be arriving any time now, and the first lady. I would like to show you the actual live picture as they come in.
Okay. General Chpakpak, what you need to do.
You can imagine Linda and Dr. Kasonso, and those of you are in the UK, the temperatures must be 10 degrees. It's about 41 degrees tonight here.
Wow.
That's why I'm sweating.
Really hot. Now, General, what you need to do on your phone, just turn it round. Did you hear that? Just turn your...
Linda, I have a problem. I have a problem to try and turn the camera around. It's not allowing me to do that. I'm not sure why. And
General, if there is a 25-year-old around you, give them your phone. They'll do it for you.
Did you say give me the phone?
If there's a 25-year-old around you, give it to them. Oh, brilliant.
Exactly.
They'll do it for you.
Hamalumbe Chuka is saying General is old school. Yes.
General,
I'm sure he
very, very old school.
Yeah, absolutely. Viewers, if you're just joining us,
he left out one adjective. The General is not just old school. General is wonderful and old school.
He is, absolutely. Viewers, welcome to a presentation of TV Bakwetu, and we are working with General Norman Chpakpak, who is based in Lusaka, Zambia, at the Mulungushi Conference Centre, and we'll keep getting back to him as he logs himself back into the stream. He's trying to figure out how to log himself back. And in the meantime, I will go back to Bakasonso. He was in the middle of finishing a thought. And as soon as General as soon as General comes back, Bakasonso, I'll ask you to very quickly stop, and then so that we have a smooth transition. And kindly wait until I give you an opportunity to speak so that it's a bit orderly. Is that good?
Yeah, thank you. So, bonse fyama pages yes pa Facebook. Bonse na watchdog na bashani bonse. Friendly fire the only opposition, terrible opposition we can have is infighting within the movement. So don't turn your daggers against each other here. Oh, mushachitechi, mushachite. No. Mushata parichachitire. Musharife musha. You know, so what we do is we don't turn guns against those who are inside unless they have committed a crime, not just suspicion that they haven't done what we like. No. Because sometimes when you have such a big victory like the one we had, you look around, there is no more people to attack. Then you start turning your guns against each other. That's called friendly fire. Friendly fire is more vicious than actually fire from outside because you know where your people are located and things like that. So this whole aspect of directing the fire even to TV Bakwetu or Elias Musha, Dr. Elias Musha, PhD, is not constructive. We have to simmer down a little bit. So we have to take a deep breath and we have to ask questions before, you know, one of the things we do to enhance a movement like ours is to believe the best about each other. No one is trying to sneak in the opposition here. No one is trying to do all of that. Some of us, we can't talk about those personal things, but we went through personal turmoil from the hand of the Patriotic Front. That is an enemy institution, and we must keep the guns there. But at the same time, we can't turn those guns now and start pointing at each other. So my free of charge counsel to my colleagues at the Watchdog and other places is TV Bakwetu doesn't have any agendas apart from what we did, remove a bad government, put in a good one. And we are here to keep vigil. We are not watchdog, but we keep vigil. In the last few weeks, so we are keeping vigil to ensure that this, our government, does right by us, right by our people. And particularly for my people from my father's province, they also need to be convinced that this government is not Muzungu wabula akajo. Everybody who fought, was part of the struggle, must be incorporated in the system so that they can contribute to the dream that they fought for. I think that is a positive thing. And we also have to believe, have a little, like I said, a little faith in the president, not patience, but just a little faith. Because sometimes but 3 months yapo tapo na vacation so inachalo omba panje ama handlers wako katika bamutumeko kumfua haya tusheko akwate kama na mama wako.
Very important. Thank you so much, Dr. Kasonso. Frank, you wanted to chime in.
I was just gonna say, talking about resting, me and you have been talking forever. Are you okay? Are you hydrated? Because we have been talking for nearly 3 hours now.
Oh yes, no, I'm hydrated. Yes.
Good. Checking up on my horse. Just checking up on my horse.
Thank you so much. I will.
I think what Dr. Kasonso says is very, very important. That the PF are still our Zambian people. They're still our neighbors. That we have to embrace our people. And as for the country to heal, we have to accept. We can't turn around to them people and say, you are PF. Whatever they belong to. A lot of there were some very good people who supported PF. There were some people who did not harm anyone, but they belong to PF. The only way that we can heal as a nation is to embrace everyone, to say we're creating this notion, one Zambia, one nation becomes part of us. And we have to get to a point where people can say our colors, the colors of our political parties should not divide us. But it should symbolize the freedom of expression that we have in our country, that anyone can support whatever candidate they want. And this should not be suppressed. It should be embraced, but it should be done with peace.
Thank you so much, Frank. Brilliant. Bamkelebe.
Yes, I'm here, my sister. I can hear you.
Okay, do you want to chime in?
Yes, I'm actually agreeing with what Dr. Kasoso has alluded to. It's very important that we show some kind of unity in our country because we are known for peace. We are a peace and loving people, even though Twalikuwa Tumiambo in gossiping or doing all kind of crazy things against one another. But at the end of the day, we are known for the love and peace that we, the Zambian people, are known for. For people like us who are in the diaspora, when we move around and tell people how or where we come from, we are so, they praise us. They praise our country, and we feel so proud, some of us, to say, and the most common thing I always used was, oh, I'm from Zambia. You know that country, the only country in Africa that has never gone to war, so it's that kind of attitude that we want to continue. Nomba, ndelomba kuli abama guys are PF who are still holding on to their own guns or thoughts that they were right in whatever they did, even though it is evident, there's so much prima facie evidence that they mismanaged the funds. Even if they cannot even come out to accept, we want to see them coming out to show remorse, maybe, to humble themselves. Not if you busy talking. Somebody's in 3 months in office, then you start condemning him already, asking for, no, can you deliver? When you wrecked the economy yourselves, you carelessly wrecked the economy. So the best thing these chaps should do is to simply keep in their lane, shut up, and watch this gentleman try to unfold the whole situation to clear the problems that these people created. Akainde's government is going to have problems. They are going to face a lot of problems because of they inherited a lot of liabilities from this gentleman. So if they could just come out and say, look, let's humble ourselves. We messed up, and we are not going to start demonizing this person that we demonized for a long time. Let's give him an opportunity to rule and see. And let's say 1 year, maybe that's when we can start challenging. Because Hakainde is not Jesus that is going to make abracadabra, then everything goes to, no. He has to first of all fix what these chaps destroyed.
That is true. Thank you so much.
Punch first, so that Zambia tuvapereka benefit of doubt and no change. We don't like demonizing them, but they're making us to stay on our negative thoughts all the time about them because they are not showing they're not backing down.
There are several.
We are not going to back down. So we'll continue until they pay back and say sorry.
You finished?
No,
okay. There are several stages to going through grievances. So I think as a people, people will heal at different rates. But my prayer is at some point we're going to be a united Zambia, a healed country. Himba, are you back?
I'm here, Linda. Hi.
Okay. Did you want to add to any of the issues that we talked about? Then we can have Percy after you.
Yes, Linda. I just want to echo or to emphasize what Keleba has said. As much as we are saying we should let go of what we've gone through, and even I can hear most people saying, let's heal, let's move on, but no one is talking to these thieves, to these killers. No one is talking to them that they should behave. They're just adding this is generation, because we are quiet and we are preaching for peace and we are desperate for peace, they think they can say anything they want. Look now what they are saying. Look what they are doing. They are even going further to attack innocent people. Just because you are UPND, they want to attack you. Just because you are sympathizing with the UPND, they want to attack you. What is it all about? So if you are talking about peace, let also even them play a role. I think there's so much emphasis on the people who were injured to forgive and to move on. What about the perpetrators of this pain? Don't they have a role to play? So these PF guys, they need also to play a role. Can they also be remorseful? Can they also be apologetic? Can they also realize that they've got a part to play in this peace? As long as they will not advocate for peace, they won't fight for peace, we are also going to take them at the same level they want us to handle them. Much do we want peace in our country. Much do we want to move as one Zambia, one nation. And that is our motto, that's our greatest desire, and that's what we look for. But if they'll keep on insulting us, we will not tolerate. If they'll keep on killing and stealing from us, we will not tolerate. It's high time they have to back off and let HH rule the nation. They were given the opportunity, they misused it. Now it's HH and the UPND. Let them sit back and relax and apologize for what they've done. Back to you, Linda.
Thank you so much. What sort of form do you expect that apology to come in? What would satisfy you?
What I'm looking for, Linda, is that one, they should first take a back seat. Because I think the PF, they've not realized that they've lost elections. And they have not realized that they are no longer in the driving seat. They still feel they're in the driving seat. And the PF, as much as they preach for peace, they are not behaving as people who want peace. So what I would love to see to them is first, let them be remorseful. Because it's like to them, whatever they did, there's nothing wrong they did in their leadership. The practical example we can give is that of the former Minister of Health. To him, there's nothing wrong he did. That's why he keeps on behaving the way he's behaving. So a person who is apologetic, even the way they are behaving, you can say that really they regret of what they did. The other minister, the former minister, went on the media and said, I don't regret whatever I did. And if I'm to be given another position to hold the same portfolio, I'll still do the same things I did. So in such a statement, do you think this person is apologetic?
That wasn't very helpful. Thank you so much. Percy?
Well, myself, I'll talk about why we are here anyway, not what you guys are talking about, because it seems you've gone out of the topic.
No, not necessarily. These are some of the things that people are anticipating in the speech by the president.
All right, but I don't think the president on a gala would address certain issues. We have to be realistic. Okay, let me just say what I need to say anyway. What I want to say is when you have to consider that there should be rules in terms of this type of events. The reason I'm saying that, you know, those same people who they are doing this event, there'll be other people who'll be donating so much and all that, and some of the people will be doing it for favor. That's how it starts.
Yeah.
The best example is South Africa, the Guptas. They were just ANC supporters donating until they ended up where they were, you know. So basically what I'm trying to say is there should be guidelines, you know, like how much an individual can donate to the political party a year or whatever, you know, just so that we don't have whereby people become because I've given the president this much, so he has to do what I want. We don't want the president to be tied down because of the same donors. Because you have to remember that they are trying to play it differently from where PF played it. PF, I don't remember PF fundraising a lot. Yeah, most of the money were basically those booths they had in Lusaka for their youths, and the government would also spare some money for PF to do its functions. But with the current ruling party, they want to separate between the government and its party. Yeah. So by doing that, they also have to show try to be transparent, whereby we are not using government money. Our political party can generate its own money. It can do its own ventures to have its own money. Yeah. By doing that, again, that's where I come back, whereby we need some guidelines on such issues. Yeah, don't get me wrong. It's nice to raise money for the political party. It's not, actually, I support that. The political party shouldn't be dependent on the government. The taxpayers' money is for the people of Zambia, not a political party. That I agree. But again, we also have to be careful. We need to put some guidelines whereby everyone, it doesn't matter. And for me, I would even suggest, if they can manage to even put a law in parliament for political parties that they shouldn't get money from the government. And, you know, just laws whereby political parties should follow when they're raising money. No one person can give Dr. Kasoso $1 million. You pay, the president will start dancing to your tune. Let's be realistic, because the president also wants you to be happy.
Yeah,
and I'll leave it there.
That is true, Percy. Having said that, the interesting thing is all parties in whatever part of the world you go to, there's lobbying. So you probably might be able to add to that. Including Britain. I wanted to address Percy for the time being because of what is happening in the United Kingdom. Boris Johnson has been named, our prime minister, named as one of the most corrupt prime ministers, and the Tories being the most corrupt government that Britain has ever seen. So, and at the summit in Glasgow, he made it a point to actually say to the other world leaders and say, I would like to say categorically that Britain is not generally a corrupt country. But so now going back to the UPND and obviously the president, that he will be held to ransom if some people gave him money. Unfortunately, it seems to work like that politically, wherever you go. No. So what do you think?
No, you addressed me before. So
you want to add to that? Yeah,
yes. Sure. No, what you're saying, yes, it is true. But that's why I'm saying you need some guidelines.
Yeah, of course.
America is the most corrupt government. Everyone's corrupt, but they've got a nice name for them people at lobbyists. Let's just start pointing things the way they are.
Yeah,
that's why I'm suggesting that because we even here, yes, we've got here it's a bit limited, even though the other MP was forced to resign because of the same shenanigans. The conservative one, yeah. So at least if the reason that those people are even resigning, it's because there are rules. The reason we found out that the current prime minister is corrupt, it's because of those same rules. But us, we don't have any rule. It's in law. I don't think we have any lawyer who advise, because according to my understanding, I've never heard. That's what I'm trying to say. We need some rules.
Yeah.
So, do you want to chime in?
Yes. What Percy is talking about, the phrase that I can coin for that is regulated corruption. What we have here, for example, just by Congress sitting here in the United States, Congress can create one law that can knock a company out of business. So what lobbyists do is some of the roles that lobbyists do is to anticipate the impact of new legislation or potential suggested legislation on their principle. So if it turns out that that piece of law will knock the enterprise out of business, they have a right for their family, for their business, to fight against that law using all available means, including going to ask regulators, what are the problems that are pressing in your community? Or the problems that are pressing in my community is that there are no, for example, after school activities are not well funded in my community, and there are no centers for that. So the company would rather spend money for the lobbyists to propose support to the regulator to fund the after-school activities in that constituency that will enhance the image of the regulator and prevent a law that will knock them out of business. So if we follow the money trail for the so-called corruption, what you would find here in the West is much more what we would call regulated corruption. Now, let me bring it home. In our traditions, the chief or the headman in the village, chief particularly, the headman was a representative of the chief. The chief, chief ensafia manika, umwine nkuni na menshi. Iyo tabala mukusakira mumumana, iyo tabala mukutebe nkuni mumpanga mukuchachitemene system. Kwale bokuya kumfumu mkupoka permission. Kwale bokuya mkupoka permission. Bokuya mkupoka permission kumfumu. No bakuya mone mfumu. Takwale bokuya fena maboko. Kusendako nga depending ndupo basha kusendako mukolwe.
Something.
Moya pere mfumu. Mfumu ya pokerera na bakapaso bako bapokerera. Ero nomba akakulitira po akano nomba balandiri ashivatwala. Now, take that same approach. You're applying for a loan in the bank. Elo wa ni chidun kumtumba wapela bank manager before taula chitaloji nika application. So the scale changes. The concept is the same. A prepayment before you're asking for a favor. And usually those are the bribes that we frown upon, and those are the bribes that we say we do. So fighting corruption is very complex because, in my view, even us traditionally as Africans, we are just like any other human beings. We are very corrupt people. Sometimes we even steal from ourselves. So what is important is what Percy said, actually. Some regulations to regulate how donations are calibrated and put into the coffers. That is very important, and that's what has happened here. So we don't have a blatant person on the street bribing a person or doing corruption, but it's regulated flows of money for the benefit of causes in return for favors. Those things are worldwide and are human in nature. So you have got to have, when you say you're going to fight corruption, you've got to have a strategy. One of the saddest things that have happened in this country called Zambia is that there was once upon a time a fight against corruption, and the money that was spent in the fight was actually more than 10 times the money that was recovered from the so-called fight against corruption. And if you're using me as an accountant to evaluate the cost-benefit analysis, the fight against corruption was in itself a very corrupt undertaking because it made the government and the country spend money that it shouldn't have spent. So we have to have a clear strategy. We have to, I think, strengthen law enforcement so that what we are fighting against is blatant bribery and the thieving of public resources. People give each other favors to receive other favors, but what Percy has said is what is important. We must regulate how the favors are going to be exchanged.
Thank you.
Yes, it is even normal, even in relationships. Iringi umulumendo owakweba tingafika umkashana ngana kwata abalumendo babiri. Elo umbi afika na kwata ndera ndakubwaiti shanda kubukuru. Nakubukuru kutwalanda. Kishikuru bantu kyasa kyasa funtula benzi mpa ule endela mumuli benzi ni kwata extra vehicle. Elo umbi aisa nechibe napi bali panchinga na babogam imbi hafu nali amo kwete gift. Umukashana alasala po uli uishira kikashikulu bantu nankakote. Elo enangushisha lastika alasala po ka benzi because muli benzi muli kwechikabili bwino muli kona prestige nefia shala. Everyone wants upward mobility and comfort. The most important thing is to regulate how the exchange of money for political favors or for business favors is going to be done. Because as human beings, we are all inherently corrupt. Everyone has got a price. There is no sacred cow. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We're just receiving some breaking news, unconfirmed breaking news, that Davis Chama has been arrested. Viewers, if you're based in Zambia, could you kindly confirm that for us as we carry on with the conversation? We're going to have 10 more minutes, go through all the talking points, and then we're going to close this segment as we try and establish a more secure and reliable link with General Chipakpak. But Patrick, did you have any sentiments on what Dr. Kasonso was just alluding to?
Yes, Linda, and thank you, Kasonso and Percy, for raising that point. The point that Vakasonso raised is very important, and this is what I've been agitating for. You know, you can say there's corruption in the West, there's lobbying, but the difference between our West and Ifwe is systems, processes, procedures, laws. You know, Balikwatama laws to regulate how parties should raise money. So that one day, if one party does not follow that law, they can prosecute them. Balikwatama laws saying no government can use money to campaign for their party. So if you can agree with me, the French Prime Minister, former Prime Minister, has been jailed because he was using government money for campaign. But how do you jail somebody ngatakwaba law, ngatakwaba regulation like that? What are you gonna jail him for corruption? And then yes, there's no law. So Zambia needs to start enacting laws to regulate how parties, like what UPND are doing is good, because government coffers, but there's no law. And then also, who donates money to the government? Do they get, you know, like in the UK, if you donate money to one of the big political parties, you know, I think the threshold is they should have at least 2 MPs in parliament. You get a tax rebate. The idea is to encourage people with money to donate to the political parties, because they will get a national political parties, not Sean Tembo, Ushakwatamo MP mu parliament. But if you donate to PF or UPND, you get a tax rebate. So that encourages people to donate to the political parties, so that they are not struggling, you know, to level the playing field, because more opposition, more alishopa. You know, just like, I have to say this, UPND was purely funded by HH, and UPND needs to run away from that culture. They need to have a fundraising machinery in place, so that not only HH is giving the money to the party. What if HH is not there today, or what if HH leaves after 2 terms? Then UPND is finished, because they won't have any money. And then lobbying, Bakasonso mentioned, lobbying is not used to bribe political parties or what. Lobbying is like Zambia, but government was under 24 passing a law to increase some royalties, right? You know, Banan Bakasonso. Then the mines can use organizations, lobbies, to go and lobby to parliament and say, if you guys pass this law, you're gonna destroy the mines. You know, they won't be able to employ people. They won't have to have money. They won't be able to pay more taxes. So they will lobby in that way. But what is dangerous, and this is what Obama did. Obama was trying to run away from a situation, because what happens is, when I want to donate in the political parties, they control the political party. They capture the president, because the president becomes their slave. So what Obama did no president in the history of America had done it.
Mm.
Instead of going to the big boys, let me just finish this point, Belinda. Instead of going to the big boys to raise money, he went to ordinary people like you and me. I donated some money to Obama so that he's not under state capture. He's not under a situation whereby ngaingira parliament that Obama, I gave you 1 million. Mpela contract yakuta supply you more speed. Yeah. So this, these are and what HH is doing is very good. The party should be able to raise money in such a way that there is no big boy who is going to come and say, me pay 200 million. Then that person will be controlling the party. Like, I'll give an example. People like GBM, they helped SATA. And then when they came into party, they told SATA, you have to be the defense minister. So that all the defense contracts would go to me. And that's what happened. So can you call GBM corrupt? No, because that was the arrangement. He funded the party.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. So we keep receiving these unconfirmed, and I insist, unconfirmed reports that PF Central Committee meeting was disrupted as the police detained PF Vice Chairperson and former Defense Minister Davis Chama. So we'll bring you more details on that, and we also wait to establish a more reliable connection with General Chipakpako. So I will give each person a minute to wrap up their thoughts as we wind down. We're going to close, and then when we've established that link with General, then we can restart the program. Okay, so Bom Kelevai, then Frank, please.
Yes, my thought, what has been said has been, you guys have said a lot. I think there's nothing much, and it's good to hear those news. And Linda, we are yet to get more news about the arrests. And of course, when somebody is arrested, this government is not going to keep you in jail 24/7. It's going to give you, if at all you committed a bailable or bondable offense, you will definitely be bail bonded. But just cooperate. I just want to urge those guys. This is not political punishments or trying to suppress you. This is the sins, your sins that are busy following you guys. There's nothing, you cannot scot-free for having had committed a crime and expect the new governments to sweep everything like your previous government used to do, to sweep all the crime under the carpet. You guys, you're not going to receive this favor anymore. The time for favoritism left with you guys. So it will never happen. And already I can see that also one of the lawyers, PF lawyers, was sentenced by one of the magistrates for 2 years in jail, Kaulungombe. So we are yet to confirm all those issues from our Zambian brothers and sisters. So just sit back and relax, because we are coming for you. You thought he was joking. No. We'll get to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Bom Kelevai. Frank?
I think the big thing for me that's just listening to everybody speak is really regulations of funding. It's important to be able to know where the funds is coming from. We've had this. I know people in Zambia don't like us comparing what's happening in Zambia and in the UK, but you have this. We've seen this in the media before, where somebody is able to say that person funds the Conservative Party and that person funds the Labour Party. So we tend to know the big funders of the party and of the big political parties. And I think we should know the people who's funding the political parties, and that should be in public domain to understand that these people fund these political parties, and it has to be proper regulations, because that way you're able to, for example, if I win a contract and you're able to say, hang on, you won a contract, you just gave the government 200 million kwacha. How does that work? You just gave that party in power this amount of money. So we're able to make a correlation. If there's no law created in regards to funding, as as Dr. Kasonso alluded to it, you can't arrest people because the law is not there. They're not breaking any law. And at the moment, people can lob with the government. People can pay the government for favors because we have not created the law. They can do that through a political party. So it's important that there's a law that it's regulated. The funding is regulated. We know where it's coming from. Over to you, Banksy.
Thank you very much, Frankie. Thank you. Percy, your final sentiments?
Okay, myself, I'll just say about the bits and pieces I've got on the arrest, because for me, that's the interesting bit. I'm sorry to say that. But according to what I've heard, he was summoned to the police at HQ, where he was interviewed for 3 hours, then arrested. So at the moment, he's still detained in Woodlands Police Station. Am I right? Let me just double check that.
Are you talking about Brian?
Woodlands Police Station. Yeah.
Are you talking about Brian Nyoni?
I'm talking about no. I'm talking about Davis Cham.
There's quite a few bits and pieces. Viewers, we will keep you posted as we confirm these reports that are just coming in. Professor Kasonso, could you wrap it up, please? All the things that we have covered in literally a minute.
Thank you. Let's begin with what Keleba and Himba spoke about regarding the remorsefulness of the PF being a catalytic or helpful in fostering peaceful interactions with the base of the current government. It's quite a mixed pot because we are talking about people who have not been charged or suspected of crimes, but we're also talking about people who committed crimes. We have to separate those pockets. The people who are suspected to be committed crimes are not the ones we are talking about. The people we are talking about are people who are not suspected to have committed any crimes, and they are our fellow citizens that we can try to generate a basis for civility as merely political differences. And also there are those who are parroting tribalism. Those who are parroting tribalism are committing crimes. Those, we are not seeking reconciliation with those type of elements. Those we are committing to the law, like in a news by Percy. We hope that it gets prosecuted properly. And then when we talk about campaign funds, yes, we have said that there is need for some form of regulation. We all know how Mr. Lungu ended up as president, and some people even paid for his filing fees because he didn't have the money. To what extent were those people the key factors that were influencing his presidency, and how many contracts did their enterprises get from the RDA, the road, whatever program and stuff like that? So there is need to regulate how financing political parties and government contracts particularly are given. There's need for regulation in that regard. And we have said that the president has done a lot of things in the last almost 3 months. We recommend a vacation. And lastly, but not the least, we have also said that those of our brothers and sisters who were together with us in the cause to oust the PF should take a step back in attacking their colleagues and being suspicious of the motives of people and casting aspersions on others. We are a team. Now we are the governing team. We need to show some internal spine. We can differ in terms of approach and opinion, but it shouldn't make us doubt everything. In other words, we should believe the best about each other. And lastly, we should also give just a little faith to the president that maybe, and just maybe it's true, that he is working out for the interests of the people, and people will get jobs in the party, in the government, and within the larger economy, because Musungu wabula kajo, kafuapo kumusereza ne, and the president knows that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And just to top up what you've just said very quickly, I think as a people, we also need to reach a position where we can do mature politics, where we can embrace those who we like and those who we do not like, interview those who we share ideologies with and those who we do not. I think you've all wrapped it out quite beautifully. We're going to end our program now, and we'll wait to, as I said earlier, to establish a secure and stable connection at Takuliamalite Lusaka. So people are on generators and stuff like that. We lost one of our panelists because electricity just vamoosed, and they couldn't stay on the show. So I would like to say a very, very big thank you to Wom Kalebai, Dr. Kasonso, Patrick Chilufya, Percy Chama, and Frankie, aka Frank Saliki, my co-host. Thank you so much. You've been incredible. It's been a long one. And I'm really sorry, viewers, that we haven't managed to show the entire gala dinner. As you know, things happen, network issues in Lusaka. It's always a bit of a problem. But General has assured me that he's going to take lots of videos and lots of pictures, and we're going to be sharing that on the Bakwetu Facebook page, as well as the Twitter page, and on the Elias Munsha page, as well as my page. Thank you very much. Good night.
Good night.